Hey guys, thanks for joining us for another episode of Two Grumpy Reviewers. Now we're going to be reviewing two different Hallows Eve movies. The original first Hallows Eve and part 2. If you know anything about these movies, they are basically the origin of Art the Clown from Terrifier. So if you've seen our Terrifier review, then you're very familiar with the character. And these particular movies give you more of a background on the origin of Art the Clown, especially All Hallows Eve 1, Part 1. Whereas Part 2 really doesn't have a whole lot to do with Art the Clown, but we're going to go more into that here in a little bit. Okay, so All Hallows Eve. Let's talk about All Hallows Eve first, the first one, where it all began, how it all started. It was directed by Damien Leone, written by Damien Leone, and starred Katie McGuire, who played Sarah, who was also in Billions, Blue Bloods, and Zombie Chronicles. It also starred Catherine Ann Callahan, who played Caroline, and she was also in Billions. Right. So, on the first movie, what's the whole deal? What did we discover on the first movie? That had several directors, is that correct?
Well, yeah, it did. And, no, the first one had only one.
Oh, okay, it was the original.
It was the second one that had, 11 directors.
Well, no, wasn't the original comprised of several different short films?
It's an anthology.
An anthology.
Okay, but Damien Leone also made the other ones, the shorts.
Right.
So he's the only director for all of them.
Ah, okay, so that's what that's why, okay.
That's where it all comes from.
Well, if you've seen All Hallows Eve, or if you haven't yet, you need to check it out, because it's really cool. They use that device where they use it's a VHS tape, so it's not entirely original, but still very cool. I love that device. I'm a big fan of using devices in movies. So again, not 100% original, but then again, who is, right?
But a lot of them, there is VHS 1 and 2 that's out there, and a lot of them kind of use it, and I like it.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of this type of film where they don't quite have like an hour and a half, 2 hour thought, and it's a nice way of giving you that hour and a half film without, a full, you kind of piece things together.
Right.
I like that. To me, it's a nice way of doing a film. It's a cheat. Yeah, I agree.
A bit of a cheat.
It is a bit of a cheat, but I love it.
Right.
I love it.
Anthologies are awesome, man.
They are.
They're a lot of fun because you see different stories being told. And like I said, in the original All Hallows Eve, where they're, it's kind of the stereotypical setup, this mysterious VHS tape shows up and
in the trick-or-treat bag.
Right. So of course they pop it in and they watch it and all hell breaks loose, and it's just awesome. We love it.
Well, they can't figure out if what they're watching is real.
Right.
If it's like a snuff film.
Right.
Or, they're not really sure. Is this a snuff film or is this just a really bad movie?
So this is basically like the kind of setup in this movie where it kind of tells us a little bit, it gives us a background on Art the Clown, how he came to be.
Yes.
What I got from it is that I believe that Art the Clown is somewhat of a ghost. So like he's definitely got some kind of supernatural powers.
Right.
I mean, at least that's what I gathered from it.
It is, and you have to. You kind of have to assume that since, this is how he manifests. The movie The Ring.
Yeah, the original,
where they, they watch the tape, and and then they got to pass it on to someone else.
Sort of the same
concept.
And
it's that whole thing. That's it. Once you watch it, you're screwed.
Right.
That's it. You've opened up the gates of hell. Everything is, it's all bad from there on out.
Exactly. And I gotta say, man, I love Art the Clown so damn much. He's such a great character.
He is.
That he is definitely like this generation's Michael Myers kind of type character.
He is.
He definitely deserves to be amongst all the greats. Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Chucky, all of them. He definitely deserves a place.
With all of them,
with the rest of them, because he's just
because I honestly didn't think they could come up with something as cool as this.
You see a lot of movies, these days that are being made these days where they try to they make an attempt at creating that kind of like
they want to create a Freddy,
right? They want to create a seminal character, for lack of a better
and they
phrase.
really don't.
No, they don't. They kind of fall short of it. So thank God, Art the Clown is. Finally.
And what I did like about this one, you can see how he evolves.
Yes.
Because you kind of see the
the little frilly,
like he's not quite evolved.
No.
And then when you go to Terrifier, because he started out as like a little short,
exactly,
for the director,
exactly,
and then whenever you go to Terrifier, he is
a full blown.
He's
threat.
Evolved
right.
Holy crap! He is really scary.
He truly
scared the crap out of me.
He truly is terrifying.
He is.
So
they have to check the first one, absolutely.
Yes.
It's because if you want to know anything about Art the Clown, you do need to watch All Hallows Eve.
So moving on to All Hallows Eve 2.
Yes.
Which
has nothing to do with the others.
Right. Which I kind of felt was a bit of a emulation of what happened with Halloween, with the original Michael Myers Halloween, versus Halloween 3 Seasons of the Witch.
Because it went off the rails.
Right.
And you know, the only binding factor in this is the tape.
Exactly.
Yes.
So when you see All Hallows Eve 2, just get ready. Prepare yourself for that.
It is good.
Yes, it is also very good, and it stands on its own.
Yes.
However, it does like I felt like it was a repeat. I mean, I'm not bagging on it. I'm just saying, to me, it felt like it was a repeat of what they did with Halloween, the Halloween franchise. How, you know, the first couple, you know, had to deal with Michael Myers, and then the third one was just like, it actually upset.
It's like, where did it come from?
Right. It actually, I remember when I first saw Halloween 3, I was too immature to appreciate it, so I was upset. I was like, where's Michael Myers? This sucks. This movie sucks.
I'm mature and I still don't appreciate it. I still hate that movie.
I love Halloween.
Okay, because my grandfather took me to the theater to see that thing, and it was weird because he was like the threes.
Yeah,
Halloween 3, Friday the 13th 3D, Jaws 3D. You know, this is what Grandpa did. You know, he took us to these, and I was mad. I'm still mad that this movie even exists. Like, they should throw it away. They should burn all the copies.
I disagree. That's a bit extreme.
They need to take the name of the movie Halloween off of
this
there.
This is where you're like the movie Hitler. That's why I call you the movie Hitler.
This is where, when I'm sick like this, they suck. Okay? They just suck. Okay? I hate that movie. So back to this movie that is a badass movie.
Right, All Hallows Eve.
Now, All Hallows Eve 2 is what you were just now talking about. There are 11 directors and 14 writers. I'm not listing all of them. I don't have time for that.
It's a lot, man. That's a lot.
And at this point in the video, they're not even watching us anymore. Okay? Just so you know.
Most people have tuned out.
Like, they've already tuned out. Elisa might be watching me, but everybody else is gone.
Marvin might be watching. I don't know. But,
but they might be the only two that are actually sticking around.
After a certain point, people just kind of...
Everyone's like, oh, shut up. Fine, you liked it.
Right.
And then they fast forward.
And then they move over to, like, cat videos or DIYs.
Because that's what I do.
Right.
So, you know.
We all do it.
Who doesn't want to see the
We get it. We're not important.
Hey, we were watching Trick or Treat videos.
Right.
Little kids. It was
awesome. That was adorable. Anyhow, back to All Hallows Eve 2.
Back to All Hallows Eve 2.
It stars Andrea Monier.
Yes.
I
think it's Monier.
Oh, Monier, sorry.
Monier.
I always butcher names. You guys already know.
She's the lady in the beginning, and her character name is Woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And I do love how they kind of slid in there. She has this phone call with her friend, and she's like, oh my God, have you ever seen Texas Chainsaw on VHS? It's the best. Because it is, you know. Like,
there's a little bit of truth there.
There's a lot of truth there with VHS. And I think all of us from our generation, we love putting in that tape.
Right.
And this is the hum, you know.
This is where we kind of sound like hipsters, like, oh, VHS was such a great
format
and this and that. You know, the only thing that I liked about it was that it hit a lot of the flaws. The flaws, and some of the makeup and everything. So it had more of a, realistic look to it.
It's not like now where you put a movie in 4K and you can see every bad scar that they make. You can see the patch we just watched. The edges, you could see the patch of a guy's scar that they did, and all of a sudden you're seeing the outline of what
which isn't good.
But back then you could hide a lot of that with 35, with film and with with
all
VHS
that grain
tape.
And everything.
So much grain. But that is truly what made Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I think that's why these films do that.
Right.
I think that's why they go to the whole VHS route. That's why VHS 1 and 2
now,
did
can we
well.
just, I don't mean to cut you off, but can we jump to that fact that we learned about the producer, like how All Hallows Eve came to be, like how Part 2 came to be?
Oh.
Wasn't there like some kind of like disagreement?
Yes, because they wanted to do Art the Clown in All Hallows Eve 2.
Right, so they wanted to do a
They
sequel.
wanted to continue with Art, and Damien Leon, the director of the first one, he said, no, I want him to evolve I want him to be like a Jason, a Freddy,
okay.
And so they couldn't come to an agreement with Art because they wanted to do another anthology.
So they had creative differences.
Very creative.
So this was basically this
so anthology. He went off and did Terrifier, yay.
Right.
And
good
they
for
did
him.
This, which is good, yay.
Right.
They did really good.
Again, both movies, great. Terrifier,
they are.
All Hallows Eve 2, we love them both.
Yes.
We're not dogging anybody. But these are some of the facts that we've learned on the internet, because of course everything on the internet is true.
Right. We hope it is.
Right.
I mean, I didn't talk to him or anything, but that's just what it says.
So that's what we learned from our research.
Right.
So, All Hallows Eve 2 is a great anthology.
It is.
I especially love the pumpkin segment, where it gets really gory and
it's great,
awesome and disgusting.
And don't you love the whole 80s kind of it's almost like clay animation?
The stop motion.
Wasn't that great?
Yeah, it was just
that was really great.
It was a beautiful tip of the hat to the classics.
It was. Well, we do talk, and I think, when we talk about other movies, whenever we're doing these, it's hard not to.
Right.
Because so many films relate to other films.
Right.
And if you have somebody that hasn't seen these movies, and they're like, well, they really didn't say anything, why should I watch them? And then you're like, okay, but it's a lot like VHS 1 and 2.
Yep.
They're anthologies, it has a lot of campiness with the 80s. It gives them reasons to go and watch these films.
So, to summarize, I mean, if you enjoyed All Hallows Eve 1,
yes.
Okay, then, and you really dug Art the Clown, jump to Terrifier, because you might not really dig All Hallows Eve 2 because it has nothing to do with Art the Clown.
It stands alone.
Yeah, it does.
It really kind of stands alone.
But
I don't think it should be, hey, watch this and then Terrifier.
Right.
Absolutely not. Watch 1 and then Terrifier, and then you're good with Art the Clown.
Right.
And then watch 2 because it's awesome.
Yeah, and it stands on its own. Like she said, it stands on its own. And, it's got a lot of really grisly tales.
It does.
It kind of reminded me a bit of like... was it Creepshow?
Yes.
How that same kind of format.
Very
not
much.
Not with the. Don't get me wrong. Not with the comic book. I'm not talking about that.
Right.
I'm just saying all
the
these
anthology, different stories.
And it's great. And there's so many different. Great anthologies out there right now.
Are.
The list goes on. I mean, we go on forever about this, but anyhow, this is one of them.
Right.
If you didn't really dig Art the Clown, like my buddy Marvin, of course, he and I disagree on that.
He doesn't like Art.
No, he doesn't like Art the Clown, but he might like All Hallows Eve too, because there's a lot of tips of the hat to the classics, to the '80s classics.
Well, there are, and there's you and I, we watched multiple anthologies because of these, and we struck gold with a few of them.
I agree.
And it's definitely, I think it's something that people forget is out there. They hear anthology and they're like, I don't want another one, you know, because there are some bad ones out there.
And let's just be honest, we've been fooled so many times into watching so much garbage that a lot of people just they just get tired of it.
They check out. There's a lot of bad content. Then it's why we do so many that we like as opposed to movies that we don't like, because we struggle finding good content. I mean, for every movie that we sit here and tell you guys that we like, we've watched 20 that we won't even do a review on because we didn't like it.
Exactly. And
so that is the reality that we're faced with.
And we may be the two grumpy reviewers, but we're not the two hater reviewers.
Right, yeah.
We're not going to be, I hate this, this sucks, or this guy sucks, the director sucks, worst movie ever. We're not going to waste your time like that.
No, because there's a lot of reviewers out there that do that, so you can go watch that.
Yeah, they already got that covered for you.
They got that covered.
So anyhow, you guys, thank you so much for joining us for another movie review.
Yes.
All Hallows Eve 1 and 2. Check them out. You won't be disappointed. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, please, because that's the only
comment.
way. Yeah.
Definitely comment.
We love to interact with you guys. Take it easy.
See you next week.
Take care.